Hey, Jeff here with InspectorPrime. In this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about our laboratories, our partner laboratories directory that we have within InspectorPrime. With this tool, you'll be able to track down to very granular levels of detail different laboratory partners that you work with to test samples, whether it's mold, radon, air quality, water quality, whatever you might do in partnership with a laboratory. So I'll give you a rundown of that directory as well as show you how to add laboratories and tie laboratories directly to the different services within your job so that you can, again, maintain that really granular level of detail on what all samples you might have out for testing. So let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. To get to our laboratories, we go to the menu on the left, click on Laboratories, and we'll start in the dashboard. So here, the way that we've structured this is, yes, it does track the actual labs that you have out for whatever samples you're testing. But the way that this is structured is it captures the different vendors or contractors that you use at the top level. So these are all people that you send your samples to from inspections to process whatever, whether it's water test, mold, radon, whatever. So that's kind of the top level organization. And then you can click into either via this link, or you can go down to Laboratories directory and open it to get more insight into what services this laboratory is actually providing you. So Apex Environmental Labs is doing your mold, water, and air testing. You can click this plus sign to add other options, whatever that may be for your business. Like other fields within InspectorPrime, when you put their URL in here, it activates this button up top so you can go to their website if you ever need to. You can track expenses, so maybe there's a testing fee whenever you take in a mold sample. It averages it out across the services, and then it also displays all the link services. So because we don't have data into the future here within this sample environment, we'll just go ahead and select completed. And here we can look at every single service that was sent to this laboratory for processing. Now, how do you tie this back to the job? So each one of these individual records is linked to a job. So let's go ahead and select this mold test. And this mold test is a part of the job that is tied to Chris Ali. Our employee that did the test is Ben Grimm. You can see some of the financial details as well as when it was scheduled, the fact that it's tied to Apex Environmental Labs. Here, we'll fill this out too. When was this? Late June. So let's go back to June. We'll say dropped it off at 3, and maybe we got it back on that Friday at noon. And then the date that we actually delivered the results to the client, we'll put the 27th as well. And you can see it took 69 hours for that service, or for that lab, to complete the mold test. You can see the commissions tied to this service. So Ben got some commissions on that, as well as the expense that's tied to the lab for actually processing that fee, or processing that test. Also, right within this record, you can send only this mold test result to the client or the agent if you just drop a file here, and you can also add office records to it. So if a customer is calling, hounding you about when they're going to get their sample back, you can add an office record to kind of keep track of how often they've been calling you. So let me show you how this is tied into the jobs and services menu. So we're going to jump over to that dashboard real quick. We just need to remember to search for Chris Ali when we're over in there. So we'll exit out of this. Go to our job and service management, residential, and then let's search for Chris Ali. Okay, so here is the job. So let's click open this job record. We will go down to the services. You can see here he requested mold testing. And here is that actual record that we created for the mold testing. So when we are in here scheduling and assigning everything from our employees to the equipment to the commission and all that fun stuff, what we also want to remember to do is go into our mold testing and tie our laboratory to that test. So because Ben Grimm is the employee doing this, either he or you as the supervisor can come in here, say, hey, I'm sending this mold sample to Apex. I'm going to add it. And then in here, you can keep track of the timeline for the test results. So let's go ahead and find a record where we can go through the process of actually tying a lab to a service. Here we are in the jobs and service management table under the residential job and service listings. And we are going to go into Brian Thompson's job, scroll down to services, and looks like he has a radon test that is being performed during the job. So we go ahead and open that radon test. And within this radon test record is where we add the lab. So Blue Shield Environmental does radon testing. We will go ahead and say that it is getting submitted. When is this job? On the 1st. It has not been received yet, so we'll leave the rest of these blank. Then we will exit out of here. And now, when we go back into the laboratories, go to Blue Shield. Let's click on all services. And now, here is Brian Thompson's record that we just tied to this laboratory. So that's how the labs are tied into InspectorPrime. Just a very good way to track at granular levels of detail and with accuracy what all you have out being tested at various different laboratories, and kind of walked through how those are tied into jobs so that you can capture as much possible data for each job so that you can stay informed on the health and status of your business. That'll do it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.